Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Scale Riders podcast episode. I'm your host, 65 Looks. I'm here joined with Ryan, my guest, all the way in Hawaii. Um, on Instagram, he goes by Scale Model Carz, and this is episode number 207. So, Ryan, welcome to the podcast.
What's up, everybody? Hello.
Man, I saw you like not too long ago in
Oh,
Ventura. Yeah,
yeah,
and then I also got to see you out in Northern California in the beginning of the year.
yeah, and then out west.
Dang, that's crazy. So now that I almost feel like you're almost like a California resident in a way. You know, you're out in Hawaii, but you're out here too in California. How's that been, the traveling of back and forth?
Oh, the traveling is getting rough, man. Riding on the plane all the time, going through TSA. That's why I left the models up there in Cali. I didn't want to do too much transporting, right? Too
Yeah. Dang, yeah, because it's been a while since I've traveled, since I've flown. I would say before like the pandemic.
yeah,
And even at that time, whenever I would fly, it always felt like a hassle, right? Getting through everything, like you said, the TSA. And then once like the whole like post-pandemic thing happened, I almost felt like there was all these rules and things that I kind of avoided like trying to go anywhere, you know? And
yeah,
and now I have an upcoming trip coming up and I'm a little like I'm
yeah,
mentally preparing myself, all right, I gotta be like just patient and just go along with the flow of how it's gonna be, you know?
yeah. You taking any models with you?
I'm thinking about just taking the GTR, that Hakuzaku, the
Mm,
Liberty Walk,
yeah,
because of the wing. The wing's so small in the back. This way, I'm not worried that if something falls off, it'll probably be like a side view mirror or something, but nothing too serious. I'm gonna definitely wrap it up and put it in a little box, and then carry it with me like a carry-on.
yeah.
Um, but I'll do my best to try to protect it.
I was real worried about traveling with the Porsche because of the wing, right? The blue Porsche.
Yeah.
That one's are real delicate. And when you put your bag on top of the TSA scanner and it goes through, you're like, oh man, I hope nothing happens to it inside the
Hmm.
machine.
Yeah. Imagine the box is just rolling in there. It gets stuck.
Yeah, they don't care, right? They're like, oops.
Yeah. Well, one time when I was going to Japan, I had a model car that had chrome plated parts, and at the
But,
same time, it had a little battery set with wires and the little lights inside, and everything was just kind of just like soldered and wired in there, like placed in there. So when I went through the TSA, right away they like stopped the machine and they were like, we need you to open up your bag. And I was
yeah,
already like, oh dang, for sure it's gonna be the model because it has a battery pack in it. There's wires coming out of it. It probably looks crazy.
yeah, it looks like
So
a box or something,
yeah,
right?
so right away I took it out and I showed them and I was like, oh, it's this model car because it has like lights in it.
Uh-huh.
And when they saw the model car, it's almost like they didn't even care about the lights. They were more like, oh wow, I've never seen anything like that. You know,
That's
they were looking at the paint and everything and it had some flakes, so it was shining. And then they were just like, all right, you can go, you can go. So I was like, cool. I thought I was gonna have to bring everything out and take it apart to show them, what it was, but it was kind of cool. You like just got through it like real
yeah.
quick.
Probably got a couple of customers from that.
Yeah, right. You never know. How'd you do it with the one with the wing? How'd you transport that as far
Oh,
as protecting it?
I just put it in the plastic cases. I had like styrofoam, bubble wrap, all kind of like cushion, so it doesn't move around at all. On the top of it, on the side of it, underneath it.
Yeah.
Just took it on
Dang.
the carry-on, and now that's like my traveling case, my little box. Right, you see me with the box, and I bust out these
Mhm.
models. Styrofoam flies all over.
Yeah. Wow, man, that's crazy. Yeah, because part of my trip, I'll be out in Spain
Yeah,
and out there. That there's a model car club called 124 Eternals, and
Uh-huh.
they do a
Yeah,
lot of JDM stuff. And one of the members, he also produces parts. He goes by White Chocolate 124.
like it. Nice stuff.
Yeah, dude, I've been picking up some of his stuff, and I mean, I'm super happy. I saw you picked up some of his stuff too.
Yep, I love his stuff. It's so nice, clean
Mhm.
parts. It fits onto the models great too. White chocolate
Yeah,
and buy those kits, right? You can buy the kits.
yeah, yeah. I was telling him because I bought a couple of his kits, and I was
Mhm.
telling him, dude, I love those little boxes that he puts them in,
Yeah,
and there's some that like when I'm using the parts, then whatever it's like you recycle them. Whatever model next project, you start putting like little parts in there
yeah,
to go
You-
together, and they're so small and slim, you could fit a bunch of things in there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I
I'm
think
like,
that the Honda, the EF9 kit
mhm.
from
Yeah,
him. I got the model from you actually,
yeah,
and then
dude, I love that model.
I know I got to put that together. I'm not sure if I might make it a lowrider or straight JDM car. I don't know yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one that I have like work in progress. Like I started it and I got it up to the paint with the decals. I just got to clear it. But I just kind of what's holding me back is the engine. I saw someone else do that car, but and they went all out on the engine, and it
Yeah.
blew my mind. I'm like, dang, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it ever to that level, but I need to I need to figure out what I'm gonna be able to do uh, with it. But I'm most likely gonna see him too out there. Um,
Oh,
so
yeah,
we're trying to plan something out where we're gonna hang out on one of the days, and they're gonna because they do a lot of diorama displays and
yeah,
they do a lot of photo shoots. So that's kind of one of the things I want to see that they want to show me. So I was like looking at my cars, thinking like, man, I do want to take a car so I could photograph it there.
that would be
And
cool.
yeah, and most likely it's gonna be that GTR. So
Yeah. And they take nice pictures too. They got it looking
yeah,
like, you know,
yeah, it looks very realistic with the backdrops and everything. You
the
know,
diary they got to is crazy.
yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm always looking forward to like the new products that like White Chocolate puts out, and then a lot of the other guys, the members, how they produce a lot of their cars too. The output that they do, it's really nice. Um,
Yeah.
and as far as like Hawaii, were you like have you lived there like forever or what's your
Yeah.
story?
I was born and raised here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And
And
so us to get stuff, like there's only three hobby shops on the island. And we're pretty much limited. There's hardly any aftermarket stuff. It's pretty much just kits. And if we're lucky, some Japanese kits, but a lot of the mainstream stuff only. And it's expensive out here. That's why when I go there, I stock up, come back home, I gotta buy another suitcase. I got so much things to bring back. It's crazy.
man, that's crazy. And is it just expensive because everything pretty much has to be imported into the island, right?
Exactly. That's what it is. Even like the Aoshima's wheel sets, they cost like double here in the stores.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a trip, man. Yeah, because I mean, I've had a couple friends who lived in Hawaii for a while, and they've told me,
Yeah.
the cost of living is a little more out here. It's not,
Yeah.
there's certain things that cost more than what they cost over here in California.
A lot of things.
And
A
I was
lot of
like, dang, I never thought about that. But then, once you start thinking, well, things have to be transported and all that out there. It
Mhm.
it's crazy how that goes up.
Especially
And
like paints and stuff. I know they probably have to come by boat because I don't think they can load it on the airplanes. All that the aerosol, right? I don't know. I
yeah,
don't
I
know.
mean, unless it gets shipped like priority and they don't say like what's
Uh,
in it and it doesn't get scanned and they just ship it
yeah,
out. I don't think it's that crazy, but yeah, if there's like maybe a certain amount of weight and they knowing like, yeah, this is paint, that's gonna take some time to get there. because I know like whenever I've gone in the past, like packages from like Coast Airbrush, uh,
Hmm.
everything's bottled and taped and bagged, and then when they put it in the box, it has to be standing up, and they put all those stickers around it with the arrows, and then also the like just letting you know that like this is flammable,
Yeah.
and I know like I mean obviously since I'm here in California, it's gonna be getting here like in a day or two ground shipping, but I could
Hmm.
only imagine if they had to ship that, you know, anywhere further like Hawaii, it'll probably take a lot longer
It'll take longer.
to get there.
Yeah.
And growing up in Hawaii, did you see a lot of like different cars? Like how was the car culture for you as a kid growing up, seeing all that up to like, a teenager and so forth?
Car culture is huge down here. There's a lot of cars that are like hidden, and they kind of only come out on like cruise nights or cars and coffee kind of stuff events. Because I've loved cars my whole life, all the way from like Hot Wheels all the way up to building these model cars. I got started building these things just to keep me busy. My parents gave me something to do, like here, finish that, and then
Yeah.
it just stuck with me all through my whole life now.
Man, that's pretty dope. And as far as like when the model cars like came into the picture, were they the ones who like bought you the like your first model kit, or did you just kind of see it at the store?
They bought the first model kit, and it would just like snowball, right? Like every time I go to the store, I gotta get a model, or I gotta get a Hot Wheel, I gotta get something, right? A little car to keep me
Yeah,
busy. But the model would do it.
yeah.
It keep longer, definitely.
And that's crazy. And throughout that time of like, building when you were young as a kid, like, did you ever kind of like step away for a long period of time from not
Yeah,
building, but still wanting to come back and do it?
yeah, yeah. It's more like when you are a teenager, you're busy with your friends, and you do all these other things, and then it was kind of like after high school and stuff, when things started to settle down. I got a job, career, and then I just got back into it, and then I found this whole like community here in Hawaii that the guys build models out here. I was like, wow, I'm fascinated, and I just stuck with it. And this is about maybe 25 years ago already.
Man,
And
that's cool. It's a long time, but I mean, look how much time has passed and it's still here. Like
yeah,
it's still going on, and even more like it's like just progressing. I feel like model scale modeling has already hit like I don't want to say not even a peak. It's hit like a stage where now it's climbing a higher mountain. Like it's gonna be climbing a whole another thing that we don't even know when the peak is gonna be, because like the whole thing with 3D printing, and then everyone
yeah,
having this connectivity online, social media, and we could all live very far away, but we could still find a way to communicate and share ideas.
yeah, yeah. The internet is such a fascinating tool for this hobby, right? It's you see the creativity of so much people. It's amazing.
Yeah, and with the modeling, when you were building as a kid, did you have other friends that did it, or was it just you by yourself?
Even by myself, because this is like I was probably like 10 years old or something, maybe a little younger, in fact. And then you just start making models, and next thing you stepping up from the snap-on kits, you start gluing some together, and it just progresses from there.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. And as far as like painting, what at first was it all just rattle can, or
Yeah,
did you start off with the airbrush?
nah, no way. Of course, the rattle can, I
Yeah,
still
yeah.
like can because it's so easy, right? But
Oh yeah.
um, yeah, it starts with the rattle can definitely, and then the
Mhm.
airbrush. The airbrush didn't start until like I was an adult where I could afford my own airbrush,
Mhm.
and then get the paints and figure out how to mix it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, an airbrush always feels very intimidating, but at the same time expensive. Like when you think of it, well, before you even have one, and I still remember just using rattle can, being like, all right, cool. The can's only like $3 to $5 for the smaller cans, and if I want to get a bigger one, like a Krylon or something at the time, it's only going to be maybe $5 to $7, not bad. And it's like it's all trial and error. Every time you spray, you could either overspray or underspray,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
but it's fun. It's just like you're earning your stripes, like as you're
yeah,
going along
yeah,
with it.
yeah.
And I know for me, when I would like meet someone and they'd be like, "Oh, how'd you paint that? Oh, I airbrushed it." I'd be like, "Damn, you know how to airbrush?"
Exactly.
To me, I mean, I looked at that as like, dude, that's like you're an artist. Like that's an artistry. I don't know how to, I feel like every time I turn on the compressor, it's gonna blow up on me. Like to me, when I would see a tank of a compressor,
Yeah,
it would freak me out. Like when I was a kid, I would be like, dude, I don't know, especially when you're done and you have to get the air out and,
yeah,
and they pull that pin and it's like
yeah.
that would freak me out thinking it was gonna blow up. Um, but eventually one of my friends is like, you want to try an airbrush? Here, like I have some spoons and I have paint. And I
Uh-huh.
felt bad, like I didn't want to waste the paint. And he's like, no, 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 don't worry about the paint. Just try it. And I took my time and I was like, yo, this is pretty cool. It's not that crazy as what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, you're lucky. That's why I always ask the questions to the other builders about their airbrushing, what they use, that kind of stuff. Because it's a trial and error process, right? So you kind of eliminate some of the errors, it save you so much money too, right?
No, yeah, it is a trip because you do ask every modeler the same question.
Yeah,
What PSI, what kind of airbrush you use, what kind of compressor,
yeah,
and the answers are always going to be different. But then you start to kind of dial in, like, wait a minute, there's like a middle ground in
yeah.
in all these answers, and I remember shooting at like too fast, like 25, 30 psi, because I read it in a magazine or I read it here, like in the tech sheets. And then later other people were like, that's too much. I only do like 18 or I do 15. No, no, not 15, 20 psi.
Yeah, 15 and 20.
So
Yeah,
then I started going like small, in those numbers. And then I started to see the results. I started feeling comfortable, like, all right, cool. It's not so bad. Because before, when I would airbrush it too fast, before the paint was hitting the body, it was already drying.
right.
And then when it would hit, it would be all like little pebbles and just really rough.
And then you do the off and on like a can, right? You do the off and on, and
Yeah.
then you just spray it, yeah, right?
Yeah. I was like tiger striping it. Like, I don't know, you have to experience that, I guess, to kind of figure out like where you're at. And with painting, do you find yourself painting now like more indoors or outdoors? What's your setup right now for
I
painting?
definitely do the indoors, and I got an indoor spray booth set up. It cuts down on the elements, I guess. The wind, the dust, everything. I find it more efficient spraying indoors with the indoor spray booth.
That's cool. Yeah, because like you said, if you do it outside or somewhere, you got all these things like that, your verses now that you're gonna
Yeah,
be fighting, right? And I've had those moments where you spray something and then there could be a particle in the air flying by, and then it just comes back and it attacks it. And you're like,
yeah.
oh damn, but when you have that booth, it's like I remember
It's
watching it. Yeah,
yep.
like it's like covered. And I remember watching videos and even friends telling me, before you paint, get a spray bottle and like mist the booth with water. So you kind of like get rid of, and anything that like dust or anything that's gonna lift off within the booth. So then
Yeah,
you start doing that or whatever, you start laying out paper on there, and then you start to get those results that you want like from it, so you feel like, yes, I'm in the right track. I'm we're progressing. It's time to move
and
forward.
raining. So that's another element, right?
Ooh, you're right, you're right.
There, if you do it outside, man, it's not gonna come out right.
Yeah. Does it rain like a lot out there since it's more of a tropical setting?
You know, this past week it's been raining like every day. Like right now tonight it's like really windy. The rain stopped. It's raining really heavy this morning. Um, but it definitely the moisture affects our painting out here in Hawaii. I guess just like anywhere else, the moisture up there would be the snow, right? Lately that you guys been getting.
Yeah,
Well,
it's been weird with that. Like, you're right, like with the snow thing, but I mean, with you guys, like you were saying, there's like mist and like the moisture and stuff like that, right? That it's probably it is best to do it inside to spray. When you're done like spraying your model, do you put it in any kind of container just to let it gas out, or do you just kind of let it just hang out in the booth?
I let it hang out in a booth for at least a day, and then I'll cover it later on inside of a box, like I place a box over it.
Mhm. Oh, nice. And as
And
far as like the timing for you to like let's say you're focused on this build and you want to get it done, how long generally does it kind of take you to complete a build?
it all depends how detailed I'm gonna get into it, right? And sometimes the detail process, you get into it as you're going, like you help a lot when you post your new products and stuff, the Zoom on stuff, I just picked up a lot of stuff from them. And that helps because I'm building a Toyota right now. So I picked up some stuff. I grabbed the Volvo kit from you too. So I gotta find the car yet, but um that helps a lot too. Um it'll take like a month at least to finish a build, at least a month.
Yeah, man, that's cool. That's like pretty fast. As far as like your workflow with building models, do you like building them during the night, or are you more of a morning person when it comes to working on your builds?
Definitely at night, like after work, I gotta build them because usually I'm at work all day during the day.
Yeah.
Or I'll shoot a coat on there before I leave for work, um, and then just leave it and come back home and I can shoot another coat. Is
Hmm.
process. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like when you're in that state of mind of that flow of like wanting to finish this build, you find that balance to do what you got to do in your responsibilities, but then still find the
The,
openings to like add that work onto it, you know?
yeah, you gotta find the time to build it, right?
Yeah, dude. Nah, you do. And it's like even like right now I'm taking my time working on the Civic, right? Working on the brakes and everything for it and trying to get the stance for it.
And
Before I'd probably go through that quick. I'd probably like gut everything on the bottom, maybe put a bar or whatever, make it so simple, right? But
yeah.
but with this one, I'm enjoying looking at all the pieces that like from the set of wheels that I got from White Chocolate that
Hmm.
I'm learning things. I'm seeing like, oh, wait a minute, inside the tires, he put, left and right. And then inside in the lugs, it says like the
Yeah.
rear and front.
Yeah.
And in those first sets that I got from him, all that info was in there, but I wasn't paying attention to that. I was just
Yeah.
painting them and like washing them, painting them, and putting them on the model. And
Yeah.
now,
It's
wait a minute, like he did it for a reason, so I have to kind of follow the instruction now.
yeah. Their
But
stuff is detailed. It's amazing.
yeah, dude, and I still hit him up and I ask him questions like, hey, well, what's up with this, or because I figure, well, man, if he's making it, he knows he did his homework with this stuff, so I gotta make sure I use it properly. And
Hmm.
and even like at night I'll work a little bit on it and then I chill. But when I go to sleep and I wake up, I'm thinking about it.
I know.
And I'm just thinking like, all right, I want to go back and work on it. I want to go back and work, but I can't. I gotta do stuff.
Yeah.
So then I do what I gotta do, and then I spend time with the family. Then
Hmm.
whenever like I see an opportunity, like let's say my daughter takes a nap, I go, oh cool, I got at least an hour or two. So then I bust everything out, and now my mind's concentrated for just the hour or two, and,
Hmm.
and more progress kicks in.
But that hour goes by quick, right?
It does. Yeah, it does, dude. I'm like, oh, okay, okay. I'll do it. I'll do it later. But I'm enjoying it though so much that I'm not like in a rush. And I think it's more because of the learning aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
of just like understanding. Because even on the lugs, he gives you the male and female um adapters.
Yeah.
And the first set I used of his wheels, I was using the male adapters. Now I'm using the female adapters, and I'm like just tripping out on that, being like, damn, like this dude has some solid products right here
Yeah.
with
You
his.
really so that's for sure.
Yeah, no, yeah, and yeah, well, I'm just excited. I had asked him, what are you coming out with in the future? And he was just like, oh, I'm gonna later come out with some more like Civic stuff, some more Honda stuff. So I'm like, oh, dope. I can't wait to see that right
Mm.
there. And uh, can you show us for the viewers the shirt you're rocking right now?
So they're rocking Model Cars magazine.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, the newest issue just dropped, and
I haven't seen.
here we're gonna plug it right here. This is number 218. This is the latest issue right here.
Uh-huh.
And shout outs to Greg. So this magazine is based also out of Hawaii as well.
Greg's here. Yeah, he's the editor in charge.
Dang, oh, there we go. We got a better view right here.
That's
Awesome.
up for me, but I haven't seen the issue yet.
Dang. So yeah, so this is out, but hold on, I'm gonna open it up because I wanted to bring up the Hawaii NNL that took place last year, October 16th. And if you could see here, down here, we have Ryan's car. It's a bug,
Yeah.
Volkswagen, right there. Congratulations, by the way, on getting that. Not only the feature, but you also got the award. The pick. Can you show us that?
I got it. Got it. I knew you were gonna ask for it. Hoy NNL, best in show. That bug took home best in show.
Man, that's all awesome, man. That's cool right there. Tell us about the NNL Hawaii. Is this something that's been going on for many years, or because I had never heard about it? If you could like kind of tell us a little what history or your experience from going to that one.
It's been going on for a few years now. There was a lag because of COVID. So last year, Greg just put it back on, and it was a great show, great turnout. Um, my bug won, which I was caught off guard because Mark Guerrero out here, he usually wins everything on here with his detailed stuff. I saw his bug is up there too on there. He had a drag bug in that magazine. And then the Porsche, the blue Porsche, that one took top 10 honors here at the Hawaii NNL, and it won the first place at the Model Fest in Ventura when I saw you a couple weeks ago.
And that's dope, man. Yeah, this is cool. Right now, as you were talking, I was looking at like the different cars that are just in here. So for this event, is this it's just like a 1 day event, or is it like a couple days, or how's this?
It's a 1 day event all day, and there's a huge swap meet that all kind of guys bring out their stuff and sell, and we just have a great time with it. Actually, good awards
Yeah,
presented.
that's
And
cool. I mean, it makes me happy knowing that there is a community out there,
great.
that it's like, even though, it's like to get there, we have to fly there, but still just like being there, there's modelers there, you guys, you get together at this event,
Yeah.
Is there any other events that go down out there?
This would be the only event in Hawaii. This once a year Hawaii NNL, and Model Cars magazine usually is the host of it, of course, because Greg's the man out here.
Nice. Man, that's so cool. Yeah, shout outs to Greg because this magazine is amazing. The magazine he puts out, and um I just feel like I like how consistent they keep coming out. They keep coming out, and I like that because there's definitely a lot of shows going on around the US, and
Mm.
there's a lot of media coverage, but then there's also a lot of features, and there's also been some features of artists that we follow on Instagram that live outside of the US too, in
Yeah,
the UK, Canada, and it's super awesome to see that there's a consistent flow, and you could just tell like the team behind, this
mm,
magazine is like everyone's putting in the work. So shout outs to you guys for doing that
yeah.
right there.
There's that contribute throughout the country, and they go to the different shows, and they help out the magazine a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's almost like one of these things, like, we obviously come from a time when we grew up around tangible things. We like holding CDs, playing VHS tapes, down to building our models. It's
Mhm.
What if model building went away and model building became digital model building,
Ooh,
where you would download a Ravel kit and then build it on your computer without even touching it, and then we just show our pictures. This is what I built digitally. Like, some people might be like, "Oh, it's cool," but I'll be like, "Nah, I wanna
oh,
hold that thing,"
yeah, it's
But
not.
I just thought about that right now. That's so weird. But that'd be weird. Imagine that, like, you buy a model kit and then it comes with like a download code, and you download it, and all you're downloading is like, it's almost like an MP3 basically. But I don't know. But
Or you print it on your 3D printer. You
hey,
just download.
if you could print it, even better. You know, that'd be even better. But there's magazines that have been around for a long time, and it comes to a point where they reach that 20-year mark, 25-year, 30, and they either sell the magazine, or or it keeps being sold over and over and over, that the quality goes down. The people that run it get replaced, you get new
Mm.
people, and then it's done, and then everybody who was a fan of it is like, "Oh man, like,
With
bring
the
it
magazine.
back, what happened?" And
Yeah.
sometimes it could be because nobody also was supporting it. There could be so many variables, but
Mhm.
for this is different. This is a magazine that's like owned and operated by modelers.
Yeah.
It's not, because things change. Like, if this magazine was sold, let's say a corporation bought it now, and these people aren't even modelers, and they
Yeah.
own like 1,000 or 500 other magazine brands, like
Yeah.
cooking magazines, like all these different magazines. They don't care, and then
No.
that's when stuff goes down. But like,
Yeah.
for this is different. This is more in the nitty gritty. This is more embedded in the community. You know.
Because they're the guy that Will Gregg, he's a
Mhm.
bit, so he knows what's going on, and so are the
Yeah,
other guys help him. They build too, so they're in tune with what's happening out there in the community.
yeah, and that's what's dope. So I don't know, people who have not gotten this magazine, you could go to their website too, Carz Mag, and you could even get the subscription too direct. So, but it's out there. There's been a couple people that are in this magazine who I know on Instagram,
I
uh,
know.
who came out on it too. Um,
Hmm.
I know, like, on the cover, we got let me see, that Bugatti. That's
Yeah.
from NYS. He's based out of New York. He's a model builder, that he's constantly posting and building stuff on, you
I've
know.
seen it.
And then
Not,
my other homie Dennis Matthews is in one of the coverage for the model. I don't know which model show it was, but I know he's based out of Florida, and
uh-huh.
he managed to get on there too. So I was like, dang, like, now it's getting to the point where you're starting to see a lot of friends, uh,
Yeah.
from different areas. So that's super neat, and obviously everything's elevating, right? Like, all the builds, the progression is just, it's getting insane more and
Yeah.
more. What do you find like challenging in a build? What's something that you feel like, all right, this is what I want to learn, like, this is the next thing, because you find it challenging.
Challenging for me is hinges, definitely opening doors and stuff like that. Opening trunks and stuff is pretty basic, but the challenging part would definitely be opening doors, uh, hinging them and cutting them out because sometimes they get real thin by the pillars and stuff, and so that's when you just gotta go get another kit.
No, you're right. Yeah, every kit's like different. The with hinging, the one I found the most challenging for myself was the Cadillac by Revell, that lowrider Cadillac. I think it's an 83 or 84.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and it's just because of the way the pillars, how they line up with the door. Like when you cut those out, those
Hmm.
pillars are not touching anything. Like they're loose.
Hmm.
So it's like you have to run a wire inside of the pillar, and you have to connect that to the body,
Yeah.
and then you cut out your door, and you have to create like all that piece. You have to add styrene to fill it in, so you make it seem like it's all part of the body. And I
Hmm.
remember like Armando Flores telling me, you got to pay attention to the door too, because does it go in the body or does it go outside of the
Yeah.
body? You know,
Yeah.
when you open doors. And I was like, damn, you got me there, because I didn't even think about that. Like,
Yeah.
I was already like, well, they're gonna go in. And he was like, no, that car doesn't go in. Those doors don't go in.
So that's what we notice, right? As builders, we look at the real 1-to-1 scale cars and like, oh,
Mhm.
that's in the jam, or
Yeah.
that door goes out of the. That's why I like building Volkswagens because the hinge is pretty easy, right? If I'm gonna open up the
Uh,
door.
yeah. Dude, I wanted to ask you, last year when you were out here in California, you went over, remember that show I was telling you about in Long Beach? It was a one-to-one scale cars show. It was more like a JDM.
Japanese car
Yeah,
show.
yeah. Tell me about
Yeah.
that show. How was it?
Oh, dude, that show was awesome. Was only thing that the humidity was crazy. It was really hot, but the JDM cars out there is just fabulous. I was going nuts out there, taking all kind of pictures and looking at the cars, and didn't have enough time in the day for me to cover the whole show and just really look at everything. And it was so crowded. It was so crowded, and oh, cars out there are beautiful, beautiful.
Man, yeah, dude. I wanted to go. That one that's coming up is this year. I
Yeah,
think it's gonna be in the same place, it looks
yeah,
like. And
definitely.
it's like all Toyotas.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's in like May. So that's one I want to check out for sure. I'll definitely want to go to that one, because I was looking at that month, and I was going like, all right, that weekend I'm pretty much free to go check that out right there.
Let's meet up down there. I'll
Yeah,
go,
I'm
man.
down. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because there's a couple friends that want to come out to that too. So I think
Mm-hmm.
it'd be kind of cool if we could all link up out there.
I
And
talking about it, right? Right?
yeah, even with Matt, he was one of the previous guests. He was the one who brought it up to me
Mm-hmm.
about it, because I had no idea. And he's like, yeah, I'll be coming out for that show. And then once I started looking into it, I was like, yo, like I want to go to that show now.
So do I.
It looks pretty cool. And
I know.
you know, you have some model cars there with you.
I do.
Can we
I,
start for the viewers that are watching right now? If you could start with one of your models, whichever one that you want to start with, to show us, and then I'll put the focus on you, so this way you could tell us a little bit about the model build.
okay. Well, I'll show the Mercedes, the S class first, because that's the one I built for a build off.
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
on.
let's check it out.
Yeah. So real talk, I have the real 1-to-1 car like this, but different wheels. I'm sure you've seen it. But this one, the wheels came from was it Scale Production? Scale Production. I got the wheels from the Carson. The blue tint is that Hasegawa blue tint film. The interior is done in red. I did it in red, and the car's just slammed. Like the stance is important, right? For it. The hood actually opens up, but that might be a task. So this car, I actually started off in black, but then I went with a two-tone later. Um, to save time because it was time build up. I used the rattle can. This is a rattle can thing. But this one's cool. I also redid another Mercedes, the candy red one. That one seemed to be having pretty popular actually on Instagram because it was a rebuild, and I had to strip the paint off and respray it. But this one's like a candy red. I don't know if you can really see the candy on it. I got a carbon fiber roof going on it. Some bride seats. I think the seats also came from Scale Productions, maybe. Yeah. This is pretty cool. I think I might have actually got the carbon fiber from you.
Man, that's pretty dope, dude. I was just like checking that out, So the first car you were showing us, you
Yeah,
have that in a 1-on-1 scale.
yeah, I do.
It's clean, man. That thing's clean. I like that, especially like the stance, like you said. It is important for sure. That's
Yeah,
freaking cool, man.
the
So
one to one.
how long
Uh,
did this one take you to finish?
this one was quick because this was for a build off, right?
Hmm.
Oh, I also did carbon fiber on the roof too. It's awesome.
Nice.
The month that build off time was an online thing.
Uh-huh.
Was for a build off. I forgot what build off it was, but it was coming down to crunch time, and man, I just had to cram on that one.
Yeah, just like work it.
I know, but I didn't like that rush feeling to get a
Hmm.
build done. Um, but it was an experience. I don't know if I'll commit to another build off, but it was fun though. It really tested your skills.
Yeah, that's what I always hear, from people that do the build-offs. Whether they're just the experienced modeler or them even just coming back into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's always like that challenge of like it tests you, you know.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I kind of get from it, and some people love it because they learn stuff, but then some people are like, nah, like that was just too much for me. And
yeah, because it's a little overwhelming, but
yeah, yeah,
you find out what kind of skills you got.
yeah,
Definitely.
dude. It, I remember one time doing like this Cadillac, and it was for Cadillac Fest, and Armando was doing this display, and I was
Mm,
getting that car ready for him for the event, and it was a custom car, lower paint job and everything. But man, it was pretty stressful. That was like the most like stress I've ever felt, like doing a build that I remember at the very end, like everything was starting to come together, and at the very end, like anything, when you feel like you're at the finish line and you're doing the last things, it's when like things start to fall apart. And things started to fall apart, things weren't going correctly anymore. And I was just like, dude, like I'm drained, but I can't go to sleep. Like I gotta finish this car because in the morning there's no time. I have to get up and I have to like drive. And I think it was about almost a 2-hour drive from where I was coming from at that time. So I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to work on it at all. It needed to be done that night. And I finally just winged it, got it done, and it was ready for the show. But when I was done with the show, I just remember putting the model back in the box. I didn't even want to look at that car for months. I was, I was like over it. I was like, dude, I already know that if I take it out, things are gonna fall apart, and I'm not even in the mood to like fix it. So I had to take a break away from it. But I was
mm,
telling myself, I don't like feeling rushed like this. but nobody was rushing me. It was more myself who was
Mhm.
rushing myself because, I was like, yeah, I'll get it done between this time and this time. And I needed a bigger time frame and I didn't.
Yeah.
I put myself in that position and I was like, damn, dude, this was hard for
I know.
sure.
Isn't there a build off going on right now too?
Yeah, I mean, there's like the Mario Kart build off, the Now or Never build off. Like they have them, I would say like every couple months.
Mm,
Um, and those are constant. Like
yeah.
they don't stop. And I always trip out. I always go, dang, like because even the hosts that are hosting it, they're a part of it. They're constantly doing. But I
Hmm.
do see the output, like their level of skills are just
Yeah.
keeps climbing up.
That's what it was for. It was a now or never build off import plastic.
Hmm.
That's what the Mercedes was for. But
Oh,
uh,
nice.
some guys really had some real nice JDM stuff. Mine was probably the only like European kind of VIP style car
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
that was, but
Can,
it turned.
can you show us some more of your the builds that you have on there?
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. We can go with the M3 I got going on here. So this one actually I had it posted on Instagram because my cat actually bit off the side mirror. I don't know if you guys remember me posting that, but I found some different mirrors and I got them on there. The wheels are the Aoshima 20-inch BBS wheels. Kind of did this one with a red interior also. I like the red interior to me really pops, especially on like a gray JDM kind of car kind of style. The finish came out really great on this. I know it seems like I got a lot of grays, but the colorful stuff is in the mainland right now.
Yeah, so
uh,
as far as like the paint, what kind of paint are you using for these builds?
Tamiya paints.
Nice.
These are
And
Tamiya
now
paints.
like the rattle can?
Yeah, so that was a Radican gray also.
Nice. And as
Um,
far as like your clear coat on that, um, you know, I always hear different stories from people getting good results, some people saying like they didn't get good results. What's your process like when you're spraying your clear coat with rattle can from Tamiya?
I think actually that one I used a different clear coat. I used the ultra high gloss from Mr. Hobby.
Hmm.
That clear coat is fantastic. It's
Is that the like the it's kind of like a gray label,
great
or tan kind of label that's on that?
with like some Japanese writing on it, the Mr. Hobby
Hmm.
one.
Yeah.
The the rattle can stuff that comes out of there is great. I mean, easy cleanup too, right? From a rattle
Yeah.
can. Um, you gotta put a couple coats on there though to get the sanding in, yeah. Like
Oh yeah.
the 2K the 2K clear is fantastic, but you do have to airbrush that stuff out.
Hmm. Yeah.
And the sand a little bit more intense of coming out of Radican because it's thicker.
Hmm.
So you gotta sand it a little more and polish a little more deeper. I mean, you
Yeah.
try to shortcut it with the router can instead of air, and then I end up sanding it more and polishing it more. but, but if it really saves me on time or what, but I
Yeah.
like it.
No, that's cool. I mean, whatever works, I know myself, like right now, as much as I would want to airbrush, I do have to like connect everything and kind of build the setup to do that. And right now it's a little harder for me just because of the space. I don't have the proper space at the moment because I've been moving stuff around,
Mm.
but it's just been easy for me at the moment right now to like if I need to primer something, just give it to me a primer and primer it real
Yeah,
quick. And
easy.
if I need to paint something, if I have the color of the can, I could just spray it real quick. and the paint, it tends to dry fast.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, cool, and I just put it away.
Mhm.
But now I'm getting to the spot where I'm like, all right, cool. Now I have to clear coat it.
Mhm.
Do I just kind of wait this out like another week until I can clear coat it with airbrush? Or do I just kind of maybe just get one of the cans and just do it, you know?
That's for me, that all depend on the mood I'm in to
Mhm.
when I'm ready to spray something.
Yeah.
If I'm lazy, of course I take the can out. But if I really want to get into it, then I use the airbrush. Like the bug was all airbrush.
Uh-huh.
I even found some pearl that had to airbrush that into the clear, and making the Volkswagen was a process, that copper bug.
Let's see. I'm looking into the chat room right now. So we got a question here. I'm gonna start reading off some questions. So this is coming from Cube Jam James. He asks, "Is there something about German brands that captures your interest?"
It's something that's not common, I guess, is what I'm into. I mean, I like German cars myself. My real car is like that 121 S class, the big body Benz. Um, it just has a different feel to it when you're building European cars. But I also have like Japanese cars that I build too. I got another like Supra that I've done up here. So it doesn't necessarily always have to be European, because I build all kind of stuff. I started building street machine stuff early in my career modeling journey. I got one of them here. So I also build American cars. This is a 65 Chevelle wagon that I really done up. I don't know if you can see the motor detail on it here. I kind of got into it with this one, and this one did really well. It shows also. I did the underneath chassis. So this one is fully wired and plumbed. Also, I don't know if you can catch the interior shots of the detail in there. But this car is great too. So I built all kind of stuff. I mean, I know the guys here are probably waiting for me to build another street machine. But right now my fancy is imports. The Aoshima kits are fantastic right now. They go together great.
Yeah, man, that looks nice. You could see the engine detail in that, and even
Yeah.
the interior as you were showing that, dude. That's so dope. I saved some photos too that you had sent me. I'll play them. Play them. I'll put them in the background because I was like trying to figure out like, all right, how am I gonna do this? So I could like showcase the photos, but then I managed to upload them. Let
Awesome.
me see if let me go to my settings here, so this way I can load those up, and then because you do have some cars that are out here, but in California,
Hmm.
um, and those are the ones that stayed behind from the show.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Here we go. So we
Oh
have
yeah.
this one here. Let me see if
That
I could find a way to hide myself from the camera.
that's the Porsche. That one won the first place up at Model Fest. The body is from Chris over at C1 Models. Um, the kit uses the Tamiya Porsche, the yellow one, the GT3, I believe, and that resin body goes together real well. The wheels on that thing is um, came from JPS wheels. I know Lionheart uh, Motoring was asking me about those wheels after the show. She came up to me. I was like, "Man, but you built that outstanding bull bug."
That's dope. There, I see you have the first place right there for this one.
Yeah.
And congrats. I'm gonna show some more photos of this build.
hmm The undercarriage on that one, I fully detailed the undercarriage, exhaust, everything on it. Yeah.
Here we go.
I tried to get some detail on it, right? Because there's no real like motor detail on the top. So I had to go underneath and really get into it down there. Yeah. A lot of masking on that one too.
Wow, to be able to paint all that like the silver, like those lines and all that, and the black with the
Yeah.
blue.
There's a lot of masking. I had to mask everything off, the black, the silver, the blue, all separate.
Oh. And then this was in this photo here, we also have your this truck that you did. This was this Dakota. I remember I saw it, I was like, I've never seen this car before. But then when I saw your stickers,
Yeah.
with your logo that was there, I was like, oh, dope.
Yeah, yeah.
One of your
So
builds.
so Greg from Model Cars Magazine, he really likes that Dakota. He loved it. I guess he had a 121 truck like that before back in the day. But this is a pretty simple build, pretty straightforward, almost a curbside slammer type category build. No, no motor, it's just slam with wheels and good paint job on it. This kit goes together real well. I don't see this kit around anymore actually. The Dakota truck.
Dude, I've
The
I've never seen this one before.
really it's an older kit. It's an older kit. I think the wheels I got from was a snap together uh was a snap together kit, and I just had got another kit like it for the wheels from Brando Commando, right? He had one for sale and I grabbed it.
Who is it? What brand is who makes that kit?
I think that kit was a Revell kit back in the day. Back in the day, Revell kit.
Dang. Yeah, that's pretty neat. I'm gonna see. I have a photo here of your the bug.
hmm That
Dang.
that that Doom buggy,
Yeah, the Doom buggy. You
the
see the
Doom
bug
buggy,
in the background, Birdie,
yeah,
but the Doom buggy. Yeah, tell us about the Doom buggy.
the Doom buggy really turns a lot of heads on that thing because of the bright hot pink paint job, right?
Yeah.
Um, the wheels, I don't think this guy is in business anymore. Was It's all machined aluminum turned wheels from JPS wheels back in the day. I fully wired and plumbed that motor too. I got some custom Hawaii license plates made on that one. Mm, this was at so this buggy is still up in the mainland, and I'll probably take it to GSL probably with me. Or maybe I hand it off to you. You can take it to SoCal. Because that's running
I'm
us.
down. Yeah, I could dig it.
Mm,
Display it right there.
yeah,
Maybe. Oh, tell us
yeah.
about the bug.
Oh, so this bug was a lot of work. Those pop out side windows from I got them from you again, Highlight Model Studio. The rear linkage and everything is all like detail mastered, 3D printed carburetors. The wheels I got custom made from CNK Customs. He machined the copper wheels for me, and the actual rims I got from Scale Productions. Um, the paint is was a copper actually from the tester's copper spray can, and I sprayed it out and airbrushed it, clear coated it, and I found some Mr. Hobby pearls. Is it? And it comes in different pearl colors, and I was almost done with the bug, and I found this pearl, and I shot it on the bug last minute, and the Pro just came out great on it. I got no chrome on this bug at all. I don't think so. Everything's blacked out.
Yeah, it looks so good though, man. It's really nice. Let me see if I find another like different angle.
Yeah, I get a lot of compliments on it. The hood actually opens, but it displays better, right? I think with the hood closed, the front hood.
That's nice. And then we have this is the one you had shown earlier, the
Yeah,
Mercedes.
yeah, yeah. That was a redo because I built this kit like years ago, and I took it out, and now you can't find this kit anymore. It's a Mercedes 300 CE from Fujimi, and I found one on eBay. And the prices are just crazy for it. And maybe because it's an older kit, and like I had opened up the side windows on it so you can see the inside detail a little bit better. Carbon fiber roof. I really like how the candy red came out on this one.
Wow. And then this is the one you showed earlier as
The
well.
Mhm. So
Damn.
this is the older kit, right? So that's the box art right there. And what do you do with your old boxes, Edgar? What do you do with them?
You
Like
know,
I have wow.
yeah, for me, for the most part, I've had to just toss them, to be honest. Like,
Face, right? But it's
yeah,
hard to
like let's say like this one, right? Like that's like a vintage box
yeah,
art. I'd
yeah.
keep that for sure. Like there's a kit that one of my friends gave me, and
Hmm.
even that box art looks very vintage.
Hmm.
And that's I know a kit that I wouldn't throw away the box. Like I'd keep it, especially
Hmm.
because my friend gifted it to me. But just knowing that it's gonna be really hard to find that box, and it looks super cool the way
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
But as far as models that I see all the time, and I
Mhm.
just know like this is like a new one or whatever. As much
It's
as
wrong.
I want to keep the box, once I'm done, I gotta toss it because I don't have the room to keep.
Yes. Don't take up space. I know guys that they break the boxes down, they flatten them out, but and they keep them.
Mhm.
I was thinking maybe I did and have some kind of like filing system for old boxes, But I don't know. Yeah, having a hard time throwing away that box or these other boxes.
Maybe
So
they should like I don't know when you were a kid if you collected like the those GI Joe action figures, and then on the back of the card it would have like the toy like the figures like code name.
mm,
It's basically like a file card you would cut out. That's what you would keep or whatever. But it'd be kind of cool. Maybe on the box when you open it, like cut out the side of the box or something.
box. It could,
Oh, I have
right?
a
Like
picture of you right here. You can't see your face though, but you're holding the first place. That's pretty cool though, man. Now you got a lot of nice model builds.
thank you, thank you, thank
Yeah.
you, thank you.
Oh, this is a clean shot right here.
Yeah. I'm gonna use that new stand that I got from you up in Ventura. I
Yeah,
like that.
these are cool. These those stands are from Skill Motorsports. They make
Yeah,
those.
yeah,
Those are super neat.
yeah. And
They're
puts you too right at the table.
yeah, they come out nice. So let me see. Let me bring myself back up. Man, it's the first time I do this with the display. I'm gonna have to do this more often.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
He had an older shot of the M3 and when it had the original mirrors on it before
Uh-huh.
my cat ate it.
Man,
So
it's
I had to,
crazy. I wonder, he saw it and he must have been like, you know what? He maybe he didn't like the mirrors. Maybe the cat's like, I'm gonna take the mirrors out.
maybe I don't know because I was at it and I was like, yeah, mirror's missing. Like I looked all over for it and I was like,
Yeah,
the cat might have bit it off and it's gone because one
yeah,
mirror.
yeah. Kind of random. Yeah, it's a trip. Like we have a cat here too, but he doesn't. He's already like old. He just sleeps all day. He doesn't do anything. But I still leave stuff out,
Yeah,
and he doesn't mess with any of my stuff. So far, so far.
He's with the empty spewers, empty ones, and he like
Uh-huh.
plays. You know, I'm amazed. A lot of modelers got cats. You know, it's beautiful.
Yeah. No, yeah, they like to hang out.
Mhm.
You know, even back then when I was living, with my parents back then, we had some dogs, some small dogs, and they would just chill too. Like, I guess because I'm in the same room and they see that I'm not going nowhere and I'm just sitting there working on my stuff,
Yeah.
they just kind of would just lay down and like just be chilling. But if they ever smell, like, let's say I bust out the glue or paint and they smell it, they didn't like it. They they would jam or they would already start kind of crying because of the
Yeah.
smell.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh man, that's probably hurting their heads because they're so small. you
The
know?
sensitive smell, right? And
Yeah,
hearing.
yeah. Yeah, it's a trip. And so tell us about your plans with GSL that's coming up. You're planning on going out there?
Yeah, I already got. I booked my hotel and flights and everything, and I'm really torn about staying at GSL on the Sunday and heading back down to Cali and doing the show, the SoCal show. But I'm thinking I'm gonna stay in Salt Lake because it's the last show ever for GSL. I'm probably gonna stay up there. And I found like some old GSL memorabilia that I guess I've entered a GSL back in '99. Um, I have this one Pontiac Catalina kit. I guess it was like a gift with a sticker on it, a GSL sticker, and some photo etch parts for it. So I'm thinking, man, it's kind of a nostalgia show, and I'll just stick around for the whole event. So that's why I was thinking maybe I just send, a couple models of you down to SoCal, put something on the table.
Yeah, no, yeah, man. I mean, let me know. I'll be down to do that. And I know you're gonna be out in California, so when you're back over here, I could always get them back to you. So that'll be
Yeah.
that'll
And then
be
we
dope, man.
we go down to that Toyota car show.
Yeah, I mean, the GSL, it's crazy that it's happening in the same like weekend because I pretty much ask everybody like, are you which show are you going to? What are your plans? And it's like some people are going to GSL, so other people are going to the SoCal Open. So, the cool thing is that at least everybody's going to a model car event that
Mm.
weekend. You
That
know,
week.
yeah, yeah, and it's gonna be cool to see like the coverage, the photos that people post because I feel like knowing that this is the last one out there, uh,
Mm.
there's gonna be more photographs, more stuff, put out there, videos and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of familiar faces too that you're gonna see and
Hmm.
probably meet new people too. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Meeting.
for it. Yeah, I just booked my tables too, my vending tables for the SoCal Open. So I'll definitely be there the Sunday, set up and all that right there.
Mm.
Um, and at the same time, I'm gonna try to do my part to try to get coverage and step away from the table to go record like video.
Yeah,
Uh,
you do great.
oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's not too far. Like, we're already in March, but a couple
Yeah.
months is like really nothing.
How was that swap meet out there at the SoCal one?
It's pretty good. I mean, as far as the room, I would say it's like the size of a gym. Like basically like think of a gym with a basketball court inside from one side to the other, and then there's a stage. And then all around, not on the stage part, but on the opposite end, all around is like vendors are set up, and then there's also the photographers, like model cars, magazines set up there, and then
Hmm.
there's like the registration tables, and then in the center area is where all the tables are lined up for
Uh,
the participants.
uh,
Um, but then outside of that room, there's a one-to-one scale like car show going on.
mm.
So it's free to attend the event. If you just want to view, everything from 101 scale to the 24 125th scale cars.
Yeah.
You could pretty much just walk around the whole premises and it's free. Parking's free. And the only thing you would pay is if you're going to participate as far as, putting your model out or vending, those are like the only things that they charge. But other than that, everything's like free as far as like to
I
go check it out.
agree
And
is good.
yeah, yeah, and like a lot of people roll up like early, a lot of people get there early, especially when they're hitting up the swap meet, because there's always gonna be when you get there, you get first dibs, you find a
Yeah.
lot of cool stuff in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
And then little by little, all that stuff starts to run out,
Yes. Yes.
and it just kind of goes. I'm gonna have to send you some photos from the last year, just so you could kind of get an idea of the layout in there. But it's nice. I mean, I've done it. I would say probably like 4 times now, like
Oh wow.
that show,
Yeah.
and it's been cool. Like definitely, I always recommend it to people, and I feel that since it's in Southern California, it's close to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, let's just say people that live down in like San Diego, uh, whether it's like Long Beach area or the Valley or Ventura County, it's a more centered area where everybody from Southern California can go to that. Because I
Mm.
know there's some friends of mine that are down in like San Diego area
Mm.
and they can't make it to like NNL West because it's too far for them.
Far. Yeah.
Way too far. Yeah, that would be like a 9 to 10 hour drive
I
to get.
know. Remember, because I was telling you I was gonna drive up. He's like, "You coming to slice of the pie?" I was like, "Oh man." I
Hmm.
flew out like 5 in the morning from where I'm at to drive up there to try
Yeah.
and get there.
How was last year you went to the NNL, but it was
Yeah.
like July or June?
Yeah. So that was great. The swap meet there was great. The models were great. Um, the 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 cars that were on the tables was outstanding, and that's where it really opened my eyes up to the NNL West because that was my first one that I went. That was last year, and I kind of got my arm twisted to go by Greg again. He's like, "Man, you gotta go," because he was going, and so we went up there, and I went up there with Gil too. Was Gil, Greg, and me. We went up there, and was just like, wow, eye opening, very eye opening. That the culture is like huge, right? I didn't expect it. I was blown away. I had to buy extra suitcase because I bought so much kits at the swap meet. I was like, wow, outstanding.
Man, that's dope. Yeah, this for myself, this was like the first one in a long time that I had gone to. Before the pandemic and all that. Like it had been a while since I had gone to one, maybe like 2019. And
Wow.
and just going back again, it was fun. I
Yeah.
was like when the show was over and everything, and I was just like packing everything up, and even outside I was hanging out with Wes and
Mm-hmm.
another friend Al Camacho. We are just kicking it, talking, and it was like it just felt good not having to rush like to get home or anything. It was just kicking it, and
Yeah.
I had time to reflect on the event and just really take it in, being like, man, like this was a really cool event. I had fun. I got to
Mm-hmm.
see, friends and just people that I communicate with online, and then I got to also meet you in person. And there's
I
a
was.
there's a couple other people too that like came in
Mm-hmm.
from out of town. So that was a good opportunity to be able to like be under the same roof,
Yeah.
and where I'm like, yo, I need to come back again.
That's good. That's awesome. That's really
Yeah.
good. Plus, you had Sam there, right, from Splash Paints.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. So that was the first time meeting him too.
that
Uh,
was even
right
kicking
there.
up too. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, they were. I wish it was one of those things where when I had booked the table, I only booked one table, right?
Mm.
But being there and just seeing the size of the table and everything, I was like thinking, damn, for with all the stuff I brought, I should have got two tables.
I got
Just
three.
to spread it out more, because it felt very like
Mm.
condensed, like and but that was a thing. It was like testing the waters, like trying to see how it was gonna be. But now that I saw it, like, all right, cool. For the next time, I at least gotta get two. So this way we all have space, and I'll be able to bring more product because I was very limited on the colors of paint. Uh,
Uh-huh.
Even though I had more in different colors in inventory, I couldn't bring it all because I didn't have the space. Because I already knew I'm gonna bring this, I'm gonna bring that, and that's kind of always the issue. Sometimes it's like trying to wrap your head around what am I gonna bring.
Yeah, yeah. Like at the Model Fest, man, you should have brought some import kits for you.
Yeah, did you notice I didn't bring any at
I know,
all?
no
Like,
kits.
nah,
Okay,
nah.
that's
Yeah,
all from you. Remember,
yeah,
I
and
told you,
then
oh, I was
that
gonna
was
buy
the
this.
thing. I was, but then I was like, wait a minute. Like, I've done Model Fest so many times, and I
Mhm.
remember the last couple times I brought import kits, and like it was kind of like whatever. I had like it was more like people were more interested if I brought like because I had brought a lot of open box kits from personal collection that I just was like not gonna work on anymore.
Uh-huh.
And people were like, I'll take all these. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, I was like, cool. Like hopefully you could finish it. Give it
Yeah,
give it life.
yeah. Space for you.
Yeah, and more space for me. I was like, all right, cool. But for this one, I was just like, I'll bring like some tools and like other accessories.
Hmm.
But we'll see. I mean, there's always next year. Did you see he already had the flyer out for the next year?
No,
Yeah,
I didn't.
when I was leaving, I was like looking at the table with all the flyers, and then I was like, dang, he already has the flyer for 2024.
Wow, I know
Yeah,
they have flyers over there on that reception table.
yeah, they were all right there. Like when you would walk in to pay or leave, they started busting out with. There was another flyer I got. I'll have to take a photo of it and send it to you, but it looks like it's going to be a model event in September. I
Okay.
had never heard of it, and I don't really know, if it's big, small, or like if they've been doing this one. But
Uh-huh.
I just that day when I walked out, I got a flyer for it, and I was like, "What the heck?" And
Mm.
it's in Oxnard, but it's in September, and I was like, "That's odd." Like I never knew there would be a show there. I had never heard of a show being in Oxnard, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to find research to see if there's been a previous shows on it, but I
Yeah.
can't find anything right now.
Wow. Wow. Is there a lot of shows that goes on in California like that, like every month or?
I would say like every once like the summer hits,
Mm.
like once like after May, I would say, there's at least gonna be one, maybe every month, every couple months, there'll be something going on. I know there's gonna be one Orange Con. The
Mm.
I haven't gotten the dates yet on when, but that's another show I'm gonna plan on attending and being at.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm just trying to plan, to like
yeah, I
when I.
mean, I'll let you know once I find out ahead of time because it'd probably work out best if you book like your flight tickets in case if you're in Hawaii. But if you're here, perfect. You could just,
No,
you could just cruise up.
I know, I know. I think May I gotta stay the whole month there.
For real, dude. That's crazy. Let me check on the chat. Man, let me do some shout outs here. So we got Model Car 1589, tuned in, Chipati TV, Katsu Sauce. Dan, what's up? Let me see, Dave McGowan, and Styrene Sleds. Yeah, Styrene Sleds, he was there in Ventura at the
Hmm.
show. Um, yeah, it's pretty cool. Shout out Slowly Models, Nikki Larson.
Nice.
Nice, nice. That's cool. And then also Greg. Shout outs to Greg. Model Cars Mag right there. That's cool. So like for this year, what plans do you have as far as builds? Like have you kind of pre-planned like what builds you want to pretty much complete for the year of 2023?
Yeah. So I started working on that Aoshima Celica. I just got the first clear coat on it. This is my paint stand, by the way. Shout out here. I like it because of the thin neck, and so it kind of fits the kits on there really well. So this is high gloss black. The first clear coat's on there. I'm thinking I'm gonna put the old school TRD colors uh, on the back. I hit up Splash Paint to see if he has the closest matches for the old school TRD colors. It's like a red, a orange, and a yellow. So I don't know how I'm gonna get that paint scheme going because it just looks so black right now. Trying to finish this. I started on that the Lexus, the Celsior, the new one, the one that was back ordered. Just took that one out. There's a lot of pieces for that has to go on the body kit, the rear bumper, front bumper, wing. That all gets painted separately, mirrors. So there's a lot of detail on that. That's 100% VIP style on that build there. Well, I've always wanted to get into that Liberty Walk Lambo. I see that a lot. That's what I actually bought that Millennium Jade from you at NNL West for the Lambo. Gotta get that going too. That's
Oh,
maybe some other Volkswagen down the line. Get that going. I like to build Volkswagens.
nice. I was gonna ask you about that, like that
Mm.
paint that you got at the show. Did you
Mm.
did you fly with that paint back home?
So it'll make it on the check-in because it's just under the amount, right, that you can fly
Oh,
with.
like the size, the
Yeah,
warehouse. Okay.
those models work out great. I can take them on the.
Dang. Because I was thinking about that. I was going like, I was gonna tell you, like, dude, do you want me to just ship it to you? Because I was like, I don't know how you're gonna do it. And you're like, no, no, that's cool. I was like, all right, he knows. He knows.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I can take that on my check-in because it makes the minimum fluid amount, right, on that you can
Yeah.
take on carry on. So it works out great. As much paint as I
Yeah.
want, as long as they don't want to combine the fluid amount
Yeah.
and then
Yeah. It's almost like back then, like back in the day would suck like buying like a big bottle of cologne.
yeah,
And then you just bought it. It's like $80. And then you walk through and they're like, oh, you can't go through that. And you gotta like toss it.
yeah.
Damn, I just bought that.
Oh, that just happened to me, man. I went to Trader Joe's. There's no Trader Joe's down here, right? So I
Mhm.
bought my buddy a brand new peanut butter, sealed in my carry-on. TSA went straight for that peanut butter, took it, and that was I was like, oh man, that's brand new. Maybe the guy was hungry or something. I don't know.
Right?
But
Yeah, they probably come up.
yeah,
They toss it all crazy, but they will see Jan and I get it. And they're like, dude, I'm gonna
yeah,
take this home.
because it's sealed, right? Like, oh
Mhm.
man.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm always like I'm kind of already kind of thinking like, all right, what am I gonna I gotta see what I'm gonna take, what I can't take on this trip, you know? That way I don't get nothing tossed.
I know. And I was getting a little concerned, with buying like tools and stuff from you up there, because it would be like pointed, right? Like sharp objects.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
that was a concern of mine. But um Greg told me when he goes to the airport and he has that kind of iffy
Like the
items,
hobby knives and all that, yeah.
he'll stick it in an envelope, a postal envelope, and mail it to himself back home.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah.
That's a great
Yeah, I
idea.
mean, yeah, that would be the best way is just to ship it,
Yeah.
because I've had some people ask me like, hey, have you considered coming out to my state to do a show to vend? And I'm thinking like, damn, that's far. I haven't really thought of it, but I'm just thinking it's far. And I'm thinking like, all right, if I did it, how would I do it? Like, would I drive? Would I carry this stuff there? Or would I fly? But I know flying wouldn't make sense, like to bring stuff. So I started to think like maybe I was like, how do these people do it? And I was just thinking like, I wonder if like ahead of time, like let's say one of my friends that's going to the show, I'm like, yo, I'm just gonna mail you a couple boxes of stuff.
You can
And
do that for
then I'll just show up at the show and then I'll vend or whatever. And then once it's done, then I'll just ship it back home, whatever's left.
we can experiment. You can try out here the
Yeah,
Hoyland.
dude. Yeah. I mean, you never know. I mean, because I've been thinking about that. Like, how would I even do it? Like, what would make sense? Because I know there's no way I could bring all that carry on and then they're gonna be like, oh, let's open this up. Let's see what's in here. And then they're like, dang, what's all this stuff? Why is it the same? What are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You should try it. I know we're gonna have another Hoyt and then now probably in October again.
Nice. Let me give out some shout outs to
Yeah.
we have someone all the way from San Diego, David Ambrose, tuned in. And then let's see, L2 the B. I don't know who that is, but he's on here. I think he
Uh-huh.
might be one of your friends. They're talking about the GSL on here on the chat. So that's
Oh,
that's pretty cool right there. Most of the guests that I have on the podcast, it's like a later time, right? But for you, it's different. It's an earlier time because you're in Hawaii. What time is it right now?
9:20.
Dang. And over here, it's like 11:30. Now the roles are reversed,
Yeah,
you know, as far as the time. Dang. And I always feel bad too because I'm always like, man, like my guests sometimes it's super late for them,
yeah.
but
East.
I'm always happy that they come through, onto
Mhm.
the podcast. So,
Yeah, this is the time that people would probably listen to podcasts, right? Anyway,
yeah, yeah,
winding to something.
something to like tune into. That's cool. Have you traveled? Is there other states that you've traveled to model shows besides California?
No, actually, I've sent by mail some stuff in the past. Now I've only been to California and did the shows here on the West Coast. GSL Salt Lake. I don't know what other shows. Maybe NNL East. That could be a possibility too. Something down there.
Yeah, isn't that one in the NNO East in April?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming up. I've heard a lot of cool things about that show, that it's a really big show.
Okay.
The one that's further out, but I believe from what I've heard, it's gonna be like in that weekend of like Halloween is the Acme show, the Atlanta show. Have you ever considered going to one of the Acme shows?
Is that a lot of car builds there? So I was thinking that's like a lot of military stuff. I'm not sure. I haven't been out there.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of cars. I'm not sure if there's military, but from what I've seen, a lot of my friends when they've gone, they've shown me video and like just coverage,
Hmm.
and then a lot of their photos, there's a lot of cars.
Mm.
But who knows? Maybe there is military. They just don't take those photos on that side. I really don't know, um, but yeah, there's definitely a car presence for sure at that event.
I'm down. It's exciting to travel and to go lay your models on a table and see what everybody else got.
Mhm.
Uh, that's really fun. And then the swap meet's always great. That's good.
Yeah, yeah, that's always the fun one right there is like hitting up the swap meets because even like
Hmm.
before I was ever like vending or anything, I would go to a show and it's just fun finding a kit or just finding something you've been looking for and you're like, dude, it's right here.
Yeah.
It's always nice. And next thing you know, you're walking out of there with like a huge like trash bag full of kits. And and you're
Yeah.
like, dang, like where do you store your kits? Do you keep them like in the garage, in the closet, or where do you keep your model kits?
I got some still in boxes, and I got some on shelves. I got kits all over. I got kits at my parents' house still.
Mhm.
They keep nagging me about it, like, get this out of here. you
Yeah.
know?
Have they ever told you? Like, hey, you gotta when are you gonna come pick these up?
Yeah, I know. And I've got like builds over at my parents' house too, like in a glass case, like from when I used to really be active more
Oh,
time.
nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Some really cool stuff. I was just looking at it the other day, and I got old kids too up there. Um, Probably not gonna sell it. I've been trying to make room for these new kids that are coming in. It's something like you need space, but I just pretty much store model kits on the shelf. I like to look at them. It's cool to look at them. If you put them away, you kind of forget about them, right? And they end up with two or three of the same ones. That's why.
Yeah. Have you kept all your kits like from
I wish. I
yeah?
wish
Dang.
because be like gold right now, man.
Mhm.
I can't
Yeah.
even find. Right? Or if you find a really old kid from like my childhood, they cost like hundreds of dollars. Because I used to build like a lot of funny cars back in the day, funny car kits
Uh-huh.
when I was a kid, and I can't find those anymore.
Man, yeah. Yeah, it's a trip how like that happens, the kits on a lot of them, a lot of these vintage ones start to go up in price, and even let's say some of the import ones, they might be out of print for a while, and though the value goes crazy up, like the prices, right, like on eBay, and then
Yeah,
later it gets announced, oh, we're reprinting it like 10 years later. And then now it kind of dips down, and then now you're like, all right, cool, I could get a new one now with
yeah,
fresh styrene.
yeah. Like you just hope it gets better, but it
Yeah.
maybe put together.
Uh-huh. No, yeah. Have you ever considered, making a trip out to Japan to go to the hobby stores and, like
I've
just
actually I've been, and it's crazy because they got like a department store, and the whole floor is just like toys, right? It's toys that we play with. It's toys, and you just kind of go nuts because you don't know what to get. There's just so much product of different stuff and different rims and tires and different parts and pieces, aftermarket parts. You would go nuts. You would go nuts. But as far as like a Jap, because we see the Japanese builders, yeah, on Twitter or whatever, and they build like great stuff. Like wow, but you don't see anything about like the stuff that they use. Like what brand are they using? Like if they use Tamiya, Mr. Hobby, Fujimi. That's the part I'm curious about. What they're using out there in Japan.
yeah, like it always seems to be like a mystery
Yeah.
on it, because you do see the models, like the results that they come out with, and you're like, damn. And then here and there you'll see a little hint of something, but it's not really, you don't really get to see the magic.
I
It's
think
just like it's
oh, she just released some kind of video, right? Maybe a couple weeks ago of the process of how they build a kit and pack the kit and ship it.
yeah.
And how so that was really interesting.
Yeah, I've noticed maybe within the last month, or maybe the beginning of the year, they've either they got like a new PR team or
Hmm.
something, but they've kind of like changed the way of like promoting their brand, and they're
Yeah,
starting to show you more internal of what is going on behind the scenes.
yeah. You
And
seen they're putting the kits together? Like, oh man,
yeah,
how's that job?
I know, right? And it's like I wonder how many years of experience those guys had to had to be in that position, right?
I, I know, I
And
know.
yeah, and it's cool because you feel now you get to see who, some of the employees, and you start to feel
Yeah,
a bit more connected now to the brand, because you
that is.
start to see that these people are passionate about what they do, and they enjoy their job. Because there's some companies that are kind of a bit of a mystery,
Hmm.
like you don't really see too much behind the scenes content from like Fujimi or Hasegawa. You don't, I feel like Aoshima right now is the one that's putting themselves out there. You're seeing who the CEO is.
Hmm.
you're seeing, who's in charge of like doing the artwork behind like the boxes and everything. And
They
then
release content right on social media that
yeah, they're starting to do a lot more of that because there's only so much you can do with just posting a photo of what's coming, right? Stock photos or their artwork. But now once you start showing this, it changes the whole thing now. It has a bigger like an impact in there.
that's like hopefully the American companies catch on,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. Yeah,
Lavelle or something. That would be really cool.
yeah. If anything, I feel like um companies need to kind of look at that as like a blueprint and just kind of see like pay attention, like see what kind of effect that has that they go, man, you know what, we need to change and do something similar or do our own take on it because you need to connect with your customers,
Yeah,
you need to with your fan base in there because it's really hard to support something that you don't even know who the person or who the people are running it.
yeah.
It's tough. I mean we still do it though, we buy brands of stuff or whatever we want, but it just makes it more special when we get to kind of see and then eventually meet the people who are doing it.
Mhm.
But
That's like
it's interesting though, seeing those videos that that content that they're putting out right now.
that's why it's great working with you and ordering stuff from you. Um, because we know like you're a real person, right? And you get the product to us like really quick,
Oh,
unbelievably
thanks,
fast,
man.
really, really fast, really fast. Like I think I even told you at the last show, I ordered something from you and I didn't even open it yet. It's back home and I'm still out here.
It got to your house and you're already at the show here.
I didn't even open. I opened the
That's
box
crazy.
later.
Yeah, yeah, right on, dude. That's cool. Yeah, like I'm like right now, I'm just like thinking like, all right, I know I'm gonna be gone soon,
Yeah.
so I need to just whatever comes in, I need to get it out before I leave.
Mhm.
But and I was thinking about this at first. I was thinking, all right, maybe I won't close the online store. Like I'll go on vacation and I'll leave it on so when I come back, I fulfill the orders. But then I said, no, I can't do that because then I'm not on vacation. I'm
Right.
still
Oh, right.
working. I'm still working, because I'll be checking my emails, and if something comes in, I'll be like thinking about it,
Yeah.
and then I'll be like stressing about it, like, oh man, I need to be home because I need to get it out, and I'll be feeling bad, like I can't even ship it out because I'm not home.
You're
So,
growing, growing.
yeah, so I'm like, you know what? It's no big deal. Like, I just close it like from like a week when I'm
Hmm.
gone, and I'll just reopen the online store when I get back, and then whatever comes in is cool. Like it needs to happen. I just don't want to like stress on anything, and then I don't want like I don't know, I because I've ordered stuff from stores, and it sucks when you order and you have to wait a week, and then your stuff goes out. Like
Oh, and
I don't
then
know, and I like getting stuff out quick, you know,
you do. You get
and
stuff up.
and I'm just like I don't want to have that responsibility knowing that I'm not even at home. I'm like somewhere else, like So I rather just close up for the week, and then
You got to
I'll
right from work, and
yeah, because I'm not gonna. I don't want to be like checking anything. I just kind of want to like absorb what's in front of me where I'm at. That'd be like a whole different vibe. I definitely want to like record video and take photos of stuff, and especially if I'm gonna be hanging out, meeting
Mhm.
up with the 124 Eternals crew out there. I got to get some auto car content from them.
Yeah,
Photos and the video of their builds and hopefully some interviews as well. Even if they're in Spanish, I got to get the interviews.
they
Um,
got like
you got some dope, really cool stuff out there.
yeah.
Um, let's see. Is there any shout outs, Ryan, that you want to give out before we wrap up this episode?
Shout outs to just the whole community in general. The Hoya guys, they give me a lot of support. Like if I need parts, we have a Facebook group, do shout outs, and we get like tires, whatever. Definitely Model Cars magazine. Greg's like a tremendous help to me, good inspiration, and just the other builders that are out there that are just like on top of it. The Aoshima Global official guys, they're just fantastic. Lots of inspiration comes from them. And you, of course, you just keep the products coming out, and so you forcing us to get it done. That's great too.
All right, on, dude. No, thanks. Yeah, man. I mean, thank you for being on this episode. This was awesome. We'll definitely do a future one as
Thank you.
well, and I look forward to seeing you out here in Southern California. We'll definitely link up, and we got to hit up that Toyota event
Yeah,
out here, because I'm sure there's going to be some really interesting cars that we're going to see. Probably take some notes on things or photographs,
hmm
because any car show you go to, you're going to get some inspiration
yeah,
and
yeah,
some ideas, and it's crazy when you see somebody that did it and they did a combination of something we didn't even think about, and you go, damn,
yeah,
all right, I like that color combo, or I like those wheels on that car,
yeah,
all those little things transpire from
yeah.
there. So, but thank you, man. Thank you all the way from Hawaii. You're the first guest from Hawaii. That's awesome, dude. And I also want to give a shout out to all the people that have been with us from the beginning of the episode till now. Um, and I don't know. I have to go back in the chat and kind of read, because like I feel like there was like conversations or just comments on here, but that's cool. It's all
That's
good. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Ryan. Hope you have a good night, and we'll stay in touch, man.
definitely.
Cool.
Uh,
Oh, and before I forget, bam! Thank you for this too.
got it.
Dang, dope coffee right here from Hawaii. So, all right, man. Thank
Okay.
you.
Have a
All right,
good night.
peace out. You too. Thank you. Bye.